One. And we're live.
GM.
GM. Welcome to the Eden
Oh yeah.
with your host, vxCozy, and your co-autist, or spectrum sitter for the day, while DK is out at Masari, JC Denton.
Oh yes.
Denton, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. What about you?
Doing well. I'm adjusting to normal life again after all this travel.
Before the next batch of travel.
Yeah, I covered it a little bit on the stream 2 days ago with DK, but we were at Permissionless, and then after that, I had a friend's wedding. Some of you know the old Iceberg, Icebergy. He got married. Congratulations to you. Myself and a handful of other people flew out to an undisclosed location to celebrate with him and his family. Yeah, and now I'm back. And the current state of the crypto market, I mean, the market's the same. You could, I feel like, walk away for weeks at a time and, like, price is still the same or within the same range. But the community is, they're not dealing with it too well. Real bear market vibes. People could, I think, learn a thing or two about being cozy.
Yeah, people are definitely not cozy.
People are
But
not cozy.
there's still shitcoins happening. There's still people turning real memes into shitcoins, like
Yeah, let's talk about the current state of shitcoinery, because there is, funny enough, a lot of shitcoins being deployed and pushed around at the moment that are more in the like meme coin kind of arena, we could say. And I've seen some yield farming things pop up too that are kind of interesting. So we'll take today and kind of go over that. Little I don't know, what do we call it? Little disclosure prior. This is not financial advice. We are strictly talking about things that we see. Do not buy anything that we're talking about without doing your own research first. We are not financial advisors. We are internet cats, and I don't
simply
know what the fuck Denton
reporting
is.
from the ground.
Yeah,
Reporting
simply
from the
reporting
shitcoin slums.
reporting from the trenches, from the arena. All right, so let's talk about a few of these. I know where you were going. You were probably gonna bring up the. Is he real? Is he not real?
Yeah.
I've seen he's real. I think he's real. He called me.
Smurf Cat?
Has Smurfcat called you?
Yeah, I saw him with my magnifying lens.
I saw some TikTok of some kid like in class, and his like phone goes off, and it's like Smurfcat. I'm showing the Smurfcat's calling him, and he's like, "Oh my god, guys, he's real! He's real! Look!" And they're like, "Oh my god, you do this every time."
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about it because no one else knows what the fuck we're talking about.
Yeah, so it's just some TikTok meme that turned into a shitcoin and went up from like I don't know what, like nothing to like 15 million market cap. So just goes to show you that even in the absolute peak of the bear, if a real meme becomes popular enough, someone deploys a shitcoin and it still does well. It still make money even in this market if you pay attention.
You know, I don't know if it was it was a couple weeks ago, maybe two, maybe longer. Whenever that thing launched, I have a friend who, I mean, he's really in the trenches, like to the point where I often consider that he may need like professional help. The things that he shares with us, it makes us question his sanity. This one being one of those, when he was first sharing it with us, we're like, all right, you know what? We might have to have
And
an
the ticker
intervention.
is in Russian, Shailushai.
Yeah, that was why. When he started sharing us like a Russian ticker, we were like, okay, you know what? I think as friends we need to intervene here because this is he's going a little too far. And
Yeah,
you know, a broken clock is right twice a day.
yeah.
So I'm really
The
happy for him. He's done quite well with it. He deserves
the
it.
the funny thing in terms of signals, a couple friends of mine who are not into crypto at all, they started sending me TikToks of Smurfcat because it was getting big as a meme, and that's exactly when this coin deployed. So you can use that. You can still use this as a signal even in the peak of the bear, the same way you did back in 2021 with like all the tweets that they would turn into shitcoins. You can still do this now.
Yeah, there's that, and then the other one that I saw kind of take off was called Curvy. It was a new dog coin. Um, and I don't even know what the fuck the point of it is. It was something tied into uh like education for the curve ecosystem, and it had like a buy sell tax on it, and
Mm-hmm.
some of the tax was used to buy CRV. I don't know if they were staking the CRV as well to like earn yield. Um, I have like this disdain for CRV though, because it was one of the first yield tokens to where um, I was tricked by all of the ways you can make yield with it. And even though I knew that, you know, you don't ever buy the yield token, uh, I was blinded and Curve made me buy their yield token.
Yeah, the founder is too high IQ.
It's like you think that there's no way that it can go down more than you would make off of, you know, like one of the Y CRV or Y staked CRV strategies or
Mm-hmm.
something. But somehow, some way, CRV always finds a way to outpace
Yeah, I've
down.
only farmed CRV with like Try Crypto, and I'm sorry to admit, but I've been selling.
Yeah. Sellers are never out of curve tokens.
Yeah,
Never. So yeah, but nonetheless, the token itself has been doing well. I think it's up like, I don't know,
yeah, Curvino.
20x since it
Yeah,
launched, maybe.
still trending up.
Um, and the thing is, I'll see these things like in my like little shitcoin feeds and uh, curated um, Twitter list that I have. But I have become boomer. You know, I like it's hard for me to want to deploy capital into them. One of them because it's like counterintuitive the way that I'm thinking, right? Because like it's like I should be okay with just punting like, you know, point 0.3 half an ETH or something at something like this, and I won't care. But but it's like the
You gotta
effort
babysit it. You gotta babysit it.
the effort of getting up, plugging my card into, you know, sticking my card into my lattice, you know, going to Dex, like doing all of this on my
Listen,
computer
you need
is
a
just like
shitcoin intern.
I do. You want to be that? You want to be my
Oh yeah,
shitcoin intern?
sure.
I will fund our wallets and then we do a profit share.
Yeah,
I'm very fair.
you really need to babysit these coins. Like, pay attention when the hype is dying.
Oh, I know. I mean, like I did really well in the previous shitcoin cycles because
Mm-hmm.
I was terminally online for like
Yeah.
20 hours a day, and I've been trying this past year and a half, really since like I had my health issues, to not be as terminally online. And the only way to do that is to not trade so many shitcoins because
Yeah, and not fuck with your sleeping hours.
yeah. Now I'm asleep by like 2 a.m. usually. You know, no later than that. But yeah, before I didn't have a sleep time. It was like you got oh the market looks okay. All right, maybe I'll go to
Yeah,
sleep now.
yeah, I know how it is.
I have a friend who we make fun of quite a bit because we don't think he ever sleeps. Not only does he live in Australia, which doesn't exist in the first place, but he he'll be messaging us at times of the day when like he definitely shouldn't be awake, and we're like, "What are you doing right now?" He's like, "Oh, my alerts woke me up." I'm like, what kind of alerts do you have, and what are they tied to where your alerts are waking you up? It's like, oh, the yearly VWAP touch the 3 month blah 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 blah, and it hit my alert. Like, what do you,
Yeah,
dude?
that's too much.
You need help. You need
Yeah,
sleep. I hope he's watching this.
yeah. I also noticed Unibot is not doing too well. Maybe the bot narrative is dying.
Unibot's not doing too well. I think like most alts that were like the new kind of hype and meta are all getting wrecked pretty bad at the moment.
Hmm. It's hard to find something in crypto where you truly believe in the project for the long term. Um, but they exist. I even know a few.
Yes, yes. We know a few of those. Um, One other interesting thing I saw, we talk about friend tech quite a bit on here. There was a new farm that popped up. I want to say yesterday, um, called Friend Farm.
Hmm.
I haven't dug into like how it works too much yet, but it looks like you can farm keys of uh, the top 50 accounts. I'll
Hmm.
have to dig into how it works, but you know, new Ponzi's on top of friend
Yeah.
tech.
So
I know that's
yeah. So
something that would
people are
interest you.
speculating about like the points being worth money in the future. So
Oh,
I pulled some money with a few friends that are gonna like buy a few accounts and speculate on the airdrop because
do you want to hear my contrarian take?
that it's gonna be on the up only.
Yeah, that it's not
Yeah,
going to be a friend
yeah,
tech
I
token.
can see that happening.
I want you to open up friend tech right now. Go to
Hmm.
the airdrop quote unquote page, and I want you to read the language that they use on that page.
Let me see. Hold on, my friend tech is glitching as usual. Have you been having issues with like the UI, or not really
Here and
anymore?
there, but here's the thing. Like
Future uses in friend tech.
I have friends that have built like social apps before, and building a fluid like UX for a social app that you have thousands of people, tens of thousands of people using and hitting all at the same time
Hmm.
is not easy.
Yeah.
Um, so while other people are hopping on and they've never used like beta kind of social apps before or social apps by like small indie developer groups, I think that they don't really know like what to expect because they're
Hmm.
used to these social applications that are built by huge corporations with fucking billions of dollars. So I don't really hate on Frentech at all for the like bugginess kind of the UI or like time it may take to load. I think it's actually like really
Uh,
good, really
I like the
snappy.
new wait list. I haven't seen that.
Yeah,
I,
I
I
think.
mean, watch list.
All right, so if you go to the airdrop page,
Yeah, I see. We'll
points
have future uses in friend.tech.
points are airdropped every Friday, and we'll have future uses in friend.tech.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we can remove the crypto need for everything to have a token and the entitlement of feeling like you should be airdropped free money from everything that you use, what person would read this outside of us and think that they are getting given free money?
That's true, but it is crypto.
It is. But in crypto, I think that we all agree that not everything needs a token. Although
Yeah,
everything can be tokenized, not
but
everything needs a
listen,
token.
even after all these airdrops, after people are so entitled, they still happen, and the same people that are so entitled still make more money from airdrop. Like it just keeps happening. So it could happen.
Yeah. I'm not saying it won't. I just think that there is a non-zero chance that it is not token related,
Yeah, it's a good point to make.
which I think will be hilarious given all of the speculation on them being worth the points having like a monetary value of, you know, over $5, let's say. Um, Granted, it very well could. But my take is still that whoever locks in like a large locked points deal for cash to some crypto person will be this season's locked jewel kid.
Oh man, I don't know. I don't know if it's private information, but that kid got robbed by his dad.
What? Explain.
uh, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how private it is, but basically, he didn't keep most of the money.
He told his parents about it, and then his parents were like, "Well, that's
Something like
ours."
that. Something like that.
I could see that happening. You're 16 years old. It's our money. You know what we
It
could
was
use
a
it for?
$1 million or something, right?
Yeah.
And the lock jewel is, it's not only that it's like down 99%, it's worth absolutely nothing right now because the chain that it was on is dead.
Yep.
It's insane.
It's funny to think about. That actually brings up a really good point. All right, um, if you think about Harmony, right, and Harmony kind of being propped up by the activity that was happening on DFK, and then you look at Base, where 40 something percent of the volume and activity is one application.
Hmm.
Do you think that Base is beholden to Friendtech the way that Harmony was beholden to DFK?
In some way, but it feels like base has enough pull where if a bull market starts or if things start trending a bit, there's more activity that then people are naturally going to come on base even without Frentech existing. I mean,
Why?
because it's Coinbase's chain.
Well, BSC is Binance's chain.
Yeah, and it trended for a long time.
It did, but that's because I think that CZ isn't located in the US. And
You think the base chain is going to have so much regulation that it's going to be not worth it?
I think that base chain could be heavily regulated. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it could go a few ways.
It's
But
a it's
right now
a
it is. I mean,
L2 attached to one of the largest exchanges that does an insane amount of inflows and outflows to the US. I think there's a very big chance that if any L2 were heavily regulated or going to play nicely with regulators in a way that they like, it would be base.
yeah, that makes sense.
So just devil's advocate, because it's like as much as I enjoy using Friendtech and being on base, I also think about what is there to do on base besides that, where it would make sense for me to leave money on base. And I can't tell you anything that is on base to where I can't tell you anything that's on base that isn't somewhere else where it makes more economical sense for me to be on base.
So I can see Aerodrome replicating what Velodrome did on Optimism, but on base. If a few like known protocols start using Aerodrome for liquidity, the same way they did with Velodrome, like a lot of the stuff that got big on Optimism already existed on mainnet, like Synthetics or something.
Base doesn't have, well, you just brought up the, I think the key differentiator. Optimism is a Warwick Mafia chain, right? And Base is not.
Yeah, it could go. I mean,
You know, Phantom had Andre and the Phantom Taliban. Like, so like every one of these chains kind of had their, and Arbitrum, as much as people like may not like to hear it, is like the DeFi L2 for Ethereum. I think more so than Optimism is.
yeah,
Um, so like it has that going for it. So everyone kind of has someone
and the
that
Odyssey
is,
is starting in a
yeah,
bit.
Odyssey starting again. So like you have a good amount of people, of individuals with large amounts of capital that are on Arbitrum. You have groups that are funding projects and also, you know, are known for having large amounts of capital on Optimism. Phantom had the same thing. Outside of Coinbase and like, you know, Brian Armstrong, like what group, you know, is kind of rogue that is doing that for base? And I can't think of one or an app that people are using outside of Frontech, which is
I
why I'm
mean,
kind of
in
like,
this case, Aerodrome.
but what is being traded on Aerodrome besides like Frontech
Just
shares?
yeah, that's true. Like existing projects that exist on other chains anyway.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
base right now is just like somewhere that existing protocols are setting up so that if something happens, they're not left behind or someone else doesn't replicate them on
yeah,
that chain before they do.
yeah.
But there's no substantial DeFi protocols that are new or novel, or saying Base is our home chain. We're moving off of Arbitrum. We're moving off of Optimism to go to Base. So it's like all of the economic activity on Base is because of the attention gravity that Frontech
Hmm.
has at the moment.
Yeah. I'm
Even the
still
volume on Aerodrome.
I'm looking at the TVL chart and I'm surprised Avalanche is still holding up, even though there's nothing on it. It's still like base is still below Avalanche.
Have you seen anything on Avalanche
I
lately?
mean
Like, are there?
GMX like throughout the bear market, GMX was big on Avalanche, and that's part of why it kept a lot of TVL. But other than that, the biggest stuff is Aave, and like being able to short Avalanche on Avalanche chain is one of the reasons it still has that TVL.
The irony
Yeah.
that that is like the main use case for Aave and Avalanche. Um, yeah, I haven't seen a lot of like alt L1 slash L2s that were kind of doing things last season, really hyping up anything that they're doing now. The only thing I've seen recently is like Kanto partnering with Polygon to
Mm-hmm.
deploy like a new like version of their chain or something.
Mm-hmm.
I I have no idea. It didn't make a lot of sense to me. I'll probably look into it a bit because they're putting some focus on RWAs, um, and that's why they're going this route. But I don't know. I feel like Kanto kind of lost the plot a little bit.
They seem to be down bad on TVL.
They are
They're below Phantom.
down quite bad. What's going on with Phantom? I should probably ask DK.
I don't even know. It's down from 7.6 billion TVL to 50 million.
Jesus.
Flatline. It's
D
sad.
DK is he was very early to Phantom.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did very well
I
because
think
of
it's
Phantom.
like it did well. It did better for like regular people, regular investors that just bought it on the market. It did better than any L1, I think, right? like a higher multiplier.
Probably.
Because
Because
like
you bought it
AVAX,
years ago for like sub 1 cent, you know,
yeah, yeah, and it was available.
and it
While
ran up to
AVAX
what,
had like a
two
pre-sale.
something?
AVAX had a pre-sale at like $1.50 or something.
Yeah, I remember when it had already run up a bit and it was like 10 cents, and DK was like, "It's going to $2," and
Wow.
uh, and uh, and I still didn't like want to buy it. I didn't buy any until it was like 12 or 13. It went up a little bit more. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll just buy a little moon bag. And
Yeah, I think I got a bid in like 20 cents or something.
yeah, and then the whole time, like every time it ran up more, I was just thinking like, man, DK has got to be so happy.
Yeah, yeah. It was crazy.
What were some of the your most like memorable runs from the last season, the last shitcoin
Uh,
season?
I mean, honestly, DeFi Kingdoms, like you mentioned, like that was, I think, one of my most successful like farms. I was in disbelief that it just kept printing for months.
I didn't fuck with DFK.
Yeah, it was
That was
amazing.
one that I just like watched print from the sidelines, and I was like,
Yeah,
damn.
and Smartcoin was the most funny project in crypto history. I think it's just hilarious. Like
No, deep brain chain.
if you played it right, you would have made money despite the coin going down 99.99%. Like it was insane
Why is that? How did you play
because
smart coin?
the APR was absurdly high, and every time TVL doubled, the APR doubled.
Really?
Yeah, so you would have to time cells in a certain way, and you would. I mean, you would definitely have to sell because a lot of people were not selling because there was a diamond hands mechanic that like technically rewarded you more for not selling, but in the end of the day, because the APR was so high, you couldn't, like, you just had to sell because the price was going down all the time. With the exception of like certain things triggering it, like the fucking Bollinger booster, like the protocol would buy back at certain times, so you could time it.
Yeah. Yeah, there were like
Fun
mine
time.
was like Polygon DeFi, I think. Like like best consecutive like rollovers. Cuz it was like there was Alchemix that launched on mainnet, and Alchemist, I think it was, like Alchemist coin, and those both, you know, printed like insanely in the beginning,
Hmm.
and then rolling that over to like all the, then there was like Malt that just printed if you did, as long as you didn't, I think it was like if you withdrew and reinvested, then your funds got locked. But if like you were just reinvesting, you were able to withdraw and you weren't one of the affected people.
Uh-huh.
So like, yeah, I didn't get stuck in that. And that rolled over into Polygon DeFi, which was like KeyDAO, MyFinance, and Iron, and uh, like Polyfish or Polycat, like a whole bunch of like random dexes that just like were printed dumb.
and
Um,
and of course, SHIB, the greatest performing asset in the history of humanity. I sold it early, but I had, I think, like 32 billion SHIB for zero point 0.1 ETH, which was like $100 at the time,
wow.
and it would have turned into 2.5 million if I didn't sell. Um, so that's like 25,000x in like a few months,
Yeah.
which is probably makes it like the best performing asset ever.
Yeah, I used to tell people all the time, they're like, you know, oh, I only have this much. Like, what should I buy? I'm like, dude, your honest bet is to like throw $20 at a bunch of shitters and just like hope one of them
Yeah,
flies. Like, don't.
people don't believe you how good it can get.
Yeah, yeah. Like, especially when you have when you're, the amount of capital that you have to put in is something like that isn't that where you're looking for like an extreme volatility and like high gains or loss. You have to play the penny stocks of crypto. Can't
Yeah.
can't be buying ETH with your $100 and hoping that like you're gonna make it. Um, But no one wants to believe you. They think you're insane.
Hmm.
Until the GameStop moments.
Yeah, yeah. Shit was after that. That was crazy.
What's wild is like I don't know if it's YouTube or like where they find it, but the reach that some of these ecosystems have into like the normie world. Like talking to some people that I thought were, well, I mean, like they are more elementary on like the knowledge scale of, uh, I don't know, how crypto actually works or how a lot of the different networks actually function. But when it came to just like being in the trenches, like these guys were like, they didn't fucking care, like what they had to do to get to some pool on near or BSC. Like, they had it figured out. But like sending money back out to Coinbase to cash out, like they had no idea what the fuck they were doing.
Yeah,
So like blew my mind. I'm like, you can't get your money out back out, to cash out, but like you've bridged from BSC to some other obscure chain and you're farming the NFTs there. Like what?
yeah. It's funny how it's inconsistent like that.
What are some new protocols you've seen that are uh, coming up with some kind of creative new concepts or novel new concepts uh, that you're looking forward to
Mm.
launching?
Um,
We talked about, our favorite
Tapioca.
Premia Blue yesterday.
Oh yeah, Premium
Uh,
Blue, of course.
but but outside of that, obviously,
Tapioca. Well, what's it gonna be like
they're an omni-chain
um,
money market.
yeah,
Yeah,
that seemed interesting.
I like the tapioca guys.
Besides that, I don't even, I don't even know if there's anything.
Really? So you right now are the only things you're paying attention to that aren't complete like shitters are tapioca and premia.
Um, Probably have a list somewhere, but in terms of like actually reading about it recently, yeah. Besides that, yeah, like you said, absolute shitters and shitty Ponzi's. Um, what about you?
I've been very out of it because of just like travel over the last week and being busy. So I have to get in the trenches over the next couple days. I'm gonna check out whatever that friend tech farm thing is. Um, uh, as someone who works for Premia, I'm already testing out and have been testing that out. Um, Tapioca, I keep a close eye on, and like we talk with them here and there. We've got a chat with them. Um, I'm super interested in using their platform once they go live.
Hmm.
Uh, Valio is always dropping new
Oh
new
yeah.
updates, new integrations, and their stats, unironically, are really really good in terms of like active users, vault performance, um, integrations that they're coming up with. Uh, they've already added mainnet, so now you can trade Arbitron, more mainnet tokens. I know they're
Hmm.
looking to add some other networks. So, um, yeah, it's interesting. I like the I like the not copy trading, but like being able to participate in someone else's trades. We were
Yeah,
talking about it earlier.
seems
Like
very cool.
you need an intern. That'd be like the safest way to have my intern trade publicly with my funds would be like, okay, create a vault on Valio,
Uh
and
huh.
I'll deposit my money into your vault.
Uh huh.
Um,
And
because
then
then if I
you
ever
have the
feel like,
control of withdrawing, and he only has control of trading.
yep,
Hmm. That sounds really cool.
yep, that way if I ever feel like, all right, dude, you know what, enough Smurf cat for you. You need to let it go, buddy. You need to let the cat go.
It's not working out.
Yeah, I can yank the cat out of the
Yeah.
bag.
Also, another thing, the Danny Sesta thing. He's doing some new project.
Yeah, what's he
But
doing?
I didn't read about it. But he's calling it WAGME, which is kind of 2 years late.
I saw DWF uh got sent what like $2 million worth of mim.
Hmm.
So I know
Yeah, I
people were
didn't see that.
speculating on
Hmm.
whether it was
Yeah,
tied to it or
so he's
not.
turning ice like popsicle into some other thing for WAGME. I don't even know.
What type of protocols are going to be?
I don't even know. Um, I think it was on which chain was it? I think it's like on ZK Sync or something random like that. Forgot.
Interesting. I wonder if the Goldfish Brain community is going to
He
champion
turned,
him in its new
yeah,
protocol.
he turned the popsicle Discord into WAGME. So it's gonna be some token conversion, I guess. I don't know.
Oh,
I still have some ice somewhere in
I'll
some
go
wallet.
check it out. I I like a lot of the guys that he worked with at Abracadabra. Um, they have been a pleasure to like communicate with and like get help plug me with a lot of people, support their new protocols they've been working on. But Danny, yeah, I don't know. I
He's
don't know.
a
I
interesting
don't know about
individual.
I don't know about Danny. The rest of the guys, yeah.
Italian mafia.
Um, it's more just like that he himself seems quite shady.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. I try to, although I like to invest in things that people often don't understand or question why people would get involved in, because usually that's where the hate fuels the attention and
Yeah,
the
the hate
inflow.
pump.
But he's just he needs a spectrum sitter.
Yeah. And it might not be the season for Danny a Danny coin.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not too bullish on a new Danny coin.
Yeah.
We'll see though. Trying to see what else is looking to see if anything else new is going on. See Donald Trump Jr.'s Twitter got hacked.
Yeah. That was
Such an idiot.
interesting.
It's like you hack a huge account like that, and not that I condone it, but like you don't even run any scams to pay for your legal fees after you know you're gonna get arrested.
I checked the Wikipedia if Donald Trump is dead.
They changed Wikipedia.
I know, but he said that he was dead, so I checked just in case.
It's like you know that it's some like crypto retard who did this because of the Richard Hart thing.
Yeah, yeah, that was silly.
Such an idiot.
What even happened with Pulse Chain in the end? Did everyone lose money?
I thought so.
Hmm.
And Pulse like dead now.
Yeah,
I
probably.
I assumed with with him on the run.
He left it for the community,
Yeah,
decentralized it.
yeah. He just centralized the supply and control. I just
Yeah,
assumed it was completely dead. I know that the Hexicans and Pulse X crew, like because alt L1s and L2s are like their own nation states, like it will never really die. There will always be like the true believers who think that like it can do whatever, no matter how many exchanges it gets delisted from, uh, how little people are using it. There'll always be like 20 people that still use it and champion it as like something better than X, Y, and Z. But yeah, I
yeah.
mean,
There's so
it's fucking
many,
dead.
so many chains like that.
Yeah, I don't see it coming back, like at all whatsoever.
Sad.
Uh, All right, we had that one. What else is going on? It's been pretty dead.
I punted some money in Harry Potter Bamasonic Tenini again in the recent bottom.
Really, you're back
Yeah,
at it.
it's up like 40%.
Can't fade ticker Bitcoin. 10
Yeah,
billion is written.
I don't know. I don't know. It's it depends if it breaks like some of the resistances right now. It could just be dying.
You think it's unironically over for do you feel like until the bull market kicks back in that meme coin season is completely dead, or is now the time that you are starting to uh, pick up little bags here and there?
I wouldn't be picking up meme coin bags for the long term because when a new thing happens, it's a new thing. Like a new meme coin is gonna have new meme coins. It's not gonna have. It's
Yeah, I
like
try to tell people
it's
that.
not gonna pump Pepe to 100 billion. It's gonna be a new meme.
I don't even think that Pepe is going to like have an insane comeback. Like I tried to explain to people who think Pepe
Yeah,
is the new Doge that like Doge is like on a
yeah,
different level of meme
yeah.
coinery. You
I mean, even Shib had like a nice comeback in 2021 after the first half when it dumped, and then it got listed on Binance and came back. But it was only like it was maybe a 5 or 10. I don't remember. It wasn't a massive multiplier like before. It was just like a nice trade, not like a
ticker
thousand
Bitcoin's a
x.
great meme. I just like
It's gonna come. It might come back. I just don't know if I would be buying it here.
here's here's my contrarian thesis, right? You look at like Ox, and Ox is getting absolutely destroyed. Everyone who is saying Ox is going to $1, ticker Bitcoin and Ox on our ants marching to that sweet, sweet $1 mark. Um, like they're all completely wrecked right now. And
Yeah,
with like Singapore putting what a restriction on Sue and fucking Kyle Davies from coming into the country, like how many other countries are going to, you know, either try to come after them or put on some kind of restrictions to where it's going to put a very negative light on anything that they're doing and make like the larger investors who would be pushing volume and kind of price action there not interested. And if that happens, then Sue being like the main fucking buyer of
yeah,
ticker Bitcoin, like what happens there? You know what I'm saying? It's like what happened to the NFT market last season, where we psyops them into buying all of our JPEGs, and then they get wrecked. And now, then what happens to the JPEGs? Like they're not able to convince big money to come in and buy these things anymore and start funds
yeah.
to like buy them.
And everyone thinks they're lame.
Yeah, that's the worry, I guess, with assets that like have a lot of mimetic gravity and interest, but the main purchaser is like an entity that has all of this kind of overhanging baggage, or um, I don't know, are sitting on the far end of like the risk curve for what could happen with them personally.
Yeah, that makes sense. Um, with Ticker Bitcoin, uh, I do feel like the path to 1 billion at least is predetermined, but it might, like, it could easily go down 90% now and then do that sometime later. So I wouldn't necessarily be buying now for the long term. I bought it because it seemed like a good short term trade.
Now, what happens when there's a funnier meme than ticker Bitcoin and Smurf Cat in a few
So
months?
Smurfcat is just a local trend. It's going to die. Ticker Bitcoin is a bit different. You
All right, explain the duality for me there. How is ticker Bitcoin different? Smurfcat is starting to breach into the wider audience.
So Smurfcat is a TikTok meme that got really popular, and naturally, when something like that happens, they make a meme coin about it. Like even when like Mark Zuckerberg tweeted about a goat, like people made Zuck goat. You know, um, Ticker Bitcoin is not based on a temporary joke that is big in uh, normie culture. Ticker Bitcoin is
Yeah,
something.
it's
It's more than
based
that.
on a it's based on a really poorly made
Yeah, the backpack.
aftermarket, backpack.
But that's a joke. That's something from like 15 years ago. Like that's a random picture from like the old internet. It's not some meme that happened now in TikTok. It's not some meme that's going on right now. They elevated that into its own thing, like the way their website looks. Like it exposes people to this meme that did not know about it. You understand? As opposed to people that know the Smurfcat meme just going to the coin to buy it. Plus the ticker being Bitcoin.
I feel like there was a blue Smurf cat like long ago.
Or maybe you're from the blue Smurfcat dimension.
I could be wrong. It could just be that,
It's
Smurf
a
cat has
Mandela
like,
effect.
yeah, it could just be me thinking that I know of this Smurf cat. Maybe I'm just thinking of Smurfs.
Maybe you've seen him
Maybe he is real.
on one of your hikes in
He's
nature.
real. He's calling me right now. Hold on. Oh man, no, that shit is like really ridiculous. I like I said, when I first saw it getting shared around, I was generally concerned for my friend. Um, I thought he had reached his very end, and that we'd have to intervene. But good for him.
The guy that made the song from the meme, Alan Walker, I think. He he's now like performing concerts with the Smurf cat in the background, like the song from the meme.
Yeah. Where? Not
I don't know. I don't know
not that
where. I
I
can send you a video.
yeah, not that I want to go see him, but I may buy a ticket for research purposes.
Do, 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 do.
All right, so what outside of Smurfcat, are there any other meme shitters? You were talking to me about one on base the other week. Is it still alive? Was it like a
Uh,
tune fork on
Based
base?
farm. It's not doing as well as it did last week.
Time
The the peg
tale as
that
old as time.
the peg that was holding very well is not holding so well. It printed
Pesky
really well for about, let's say, about 10 days, maybe,
pesky
maybe
pegs.
12 days. So I pulled out most of my LP when it touched the peg from like going from like it was peg to ETH, so it was like $200 above, and when it touched the peg, I pulled it out. And I kept the profits, but yeah, probably a few people got screwed.
Denton, the Profiteur.
Yeah, it was interesting how it worked with the solidly stable AMM. Like it did
Explain.
absorb it absorbed sales a lot better than you would expect because Tomb itself was on a regular like a Uniswap AMM, so it was extremely volatile. Like Tomb went like 200x the peg or something, but this only ever went like maybe 2x above, and then it was hovering around the peg because there was always way more ETH in the pool than based, even though the prices were similar. Because I guess the stable AMM requires you to pull more ETH in proportion to what you're pegging it to. Uh, so that it can absorb sale. So
Interesting.
it was like like some whales were like farming with like six figures or more. They would be making sales of like 20 ETH worth, and it was not budging the price, like maybe 1% move.
Wow.
It was interesting while it lasted.
Until it reached the
Yeah,
fate that all uh, tomb forks reach.
and base chain is just like you said, it's like there's like no community besides Frentech. Like I'm not seeing like the way they had for Arbitrum, like oh Arbitrum gems, Arbitrum shitcoins. Like I'm not really seeing groups like that that are super active.
No, no, there's not. Like there were, I talked about it on. It might have been the Hero cast that we did. Like when he was like, "What are you farming right now?" And like at that time, there was like Toshi, Bald, and like a few other ones that like if you were early in and out, if you, I always have the general rule like on new chains, like when with new shitters, I don't hold those things for more than 48 hours. Like zero chance that I'm holding some new like
Yeah,
shitcoin on a brand new chain for
yeah,
even more than a day sometimes. Like I'm totally happy with like a few like 20 to 40%, you know, like moves and just fucking swinging in and out of that and being happy with still having my money. uh, I don't care if I miss the 1,000% run up before it gets rugged and nukes to zero. You know, I'm
nah, after being traumatized with selling SHIB early, I'm just gonna let the money die.
yeah. Well, I mean, if you're only throwing like you know, uh,
Couple hundred
point,
bucks.
yeah, 0.2 ETH to a half an ETH, like sure, yeah, just let it die. But you know,
Yeah.
like
No,
when
if
you're
you're flipping like multiple ETH, then yeah, you gotta get out.
yeah, it's a little different when you're even on those ones like we'll say, you know, five figs that you're coming in and out with.
I mean,
There's
if you're coming with five figs, then it's already trending a bit because otherwise you would just not be able to buy that much. So you are like risking like you're taking a higher risk because you're betting on it going to like 20 million market cap. You're not betting on it going from 100K to 1 million
right.
or
That's
from
my
100K
problem,
to 10 million. Yeah.
which is my problem. It's very hard for me to
The problem is your size is size.
only in some arenas. I've been quickly reminded before that my size is not size. Uh,
Oh yeah.
um, yeah, playing in some pools where when they're a bit newer but had like really deep liquidity, like you know, to like 50, 60 mil liquidity, but the only markets are FTX and like on curve. You quickly learn um, that you're just a little. You can move that the curve pool all you want, and as soon as like FTX comes in and wanted
Yeah.
to have their way with it, yeah, there was no saving yourself. It's just
Yeah.
getting you just had to beat them. Um, but yeah, on these little shit chains, sure, almost
Yeah.
anyone's size can be sized. It's more just like, are you used to dealing with the size that is not able to be taken in on this new trial chain?
Yeah.
I need to get back to my roots. The old throw point one point two at every shitter that gets listed on Ether Delta.
The problem now is things get sniped.
Y-
So
Totally. That is like the biggest problem. Like you'll have someone send you something, and by the time you go on deck screener, it's up 10x because like
yeah,
bots are sniping every new
and
listing.
then the bots always like they like I always notice it's like similar numbers. Like they put in like $80 and they sell for like 4,000. It's like so many coins they reach like the same market cap before dying, like around like 400K or something.
And you think it's from bots that are just like sniping them at launch and then unloading
Yeah, like the
right around
momentum,
whatever market
they
cap?
can't breach the like selling momentum from all the bots that are around that range. I mean, I guess between like 200K and a million, like, is when a lot of coins die.
Yeah, that one curvy I was looking at was having trouble staying above a million it was like between 800K and 1.2,
Hmm.
and every time it breached a million, it was like just getting obliterated.
Yeah, probably they also probably have sell settings for certain market caps and all that kind of shit.
Yeah, yeah, would make sense. Probably good to automate your bots that way, so you're not, you don't care about uh, expected or perceived market cap of what it could be. It's strictly, profit parameters.
Hmm.
Hump day. What do you what's going on this week, Denton? I know next week. Are you coming to Barcelona?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, nice, perfect. um, for those of you that don't know, Chainlink is hosting I believe it's their second SmartCon in Barcelona this year. Premia, us, we will be sponsoring the event. We have a little shindig, DeFi Esta on the first and second. Um, I think Denton just put out a tweet
Yeah,
or
you
from
can
the Premia account.
RSVP on the Premia account Twitter. There's a link to the event Premia is hosting, and also, like Cozy said, Premia is sponsoring actual SmartCon as well.
Yep. So we'll have a conference room. I'm pretty sure there. So if there are people that want to meet up, discuss Premia integrations, partnerships, stuff like that, we'll have a room and some time set aside that we'll be taking meetings outside of our CMO Ksenia, I believe, is doing a panel or a speech on as part of like the Women of Web3. That'll be pretty cool. I'm excited to see that panel and her up. I've only heard her before on um there was one like Spotify podcast she did with I think with Outlier Ventures maybe. I listened to that a little bit. So
Hmm.
uh even though I'm not one who likes to be up on stage, I don't mind talking. I would video call in and do a panel, but I'm I don't want to be on stage at a conference. But for those of
Are
us
you
on the team
shy?
that are fully doxxed, I'm a little shy. I mean, I'm a shy cat.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, for those of us that don't mind, I like to be there to support them and be their mini cheerleader in the audience.
Yeah.
I won't embarrass her too much. But yeah, so SmartCon in Barcelona. Masari in New York did it start today? If not today, it starts tomorrow. We've got a couple people up there as well. So again, if you are in the New York area this week, if you are going to SmartCon, I believe it's the first and second, first through third, um, that the events will be on. Get in touch with us. Shoot me a DM on Twitter at vxCozy, or you can message us in the Premia Discord. You can message me here at the Eden Twitter, which is at Eden Aesthetics. Uh, make you choose. You can get a hold of me at a ton of different outlets.
Hmm.
Barcelona. Are you going to ETH Milan after that?
I'm not sure.
Okay. So we also have a small group that is staying after that will be at ETH Milan to meet up with some of the Vol Cabal, as we call them. There's a bunch of volatility products being built currently, which I think are probably like to me the coolest like subsector of things being built at the moment. It's like for everything else, uh, you there aren't really people that are building new types of AMMs, right? Or like you can't really make a perp protocol much different. Um, Me and Tolga talked about it yesterday on the Arbitrum like AMA we did, but like
Hmm.
with options, there's an outline for like what a structured option product is, and a lot of protocols building volatility products that call themselves options, they're not like typical options. They have built something that replicates or is, has characteristics of an option, but they aren't a real option. Whereas for everything else, it's pretty cut and dry. Like if you're a perp protocol, or if you're a lending protocol, a money market. Um, so yeah, they're one of the ones I'm kind of or volatility products I would say are the one kind of subsect that excites me because there isn't like a box that you really fit within. You can build off of like any of these other products, and like you have Panoptics that is um, an option like product where they're essentially like looking at Uniswap positions as I believe short option contracts, and you have Smiley that is building volatility products by off of impermanent loss from Uni v3, and you have like Risk that's building cool products. So you have a lot of these new protocols that are building out uh, different things in the volatility space, and I think that's kind of where like creation is endless, um, because there's not a crypto allows you to financialize a lot of capital that would be idle in TradFi, I guess would kind of be the best way to put it.
Yeah, and there hasn't been a way to trade volatility in so much details so far in a decentralized way.
Right, right. So yeah, I don't know. I like to keep my eye on that kind of stuff. I've mentioned it before, but also like uh, Dinero is something that I'm excited to see launch, just
Hmm.
because like I don't know. I like stablecoin experiments,
Yeah,
and uh, and this one's very like unique. It's a different take on stability and like what to base a stablecoin off of. Moving away from fiat and having like an Ethereum native uh, stablecoin, kind of a strange loop, right? Having it being based off of a block space.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, shit like that. I'm kind of I don't know. It's what I'll be keeping my eyes on.
very good.
Cool, cool. We are a little bit over time, so let's wrap it up for today. Uh, JC Denton, appreciate you joining us. For those of you
This
that don't
was
follow
fun.
him,
Thank you.
follow him on Twitter at what's your at now?
VX Denton.
Nice, nice. At VX Denton. You can hit him at Telegram, or I mean in our Discord also VX Denton.
Telegram too, if you want. If you
Yeah,
want to make a
Telegram
secret
too.
chat.
uh, I'll be back tomorrow with Thinking Vols, aka Marty. DK is, as I said, at Masari, so he will not be with me this week. Yeah, tune in tomorrow, 11
Hmm.
8 EST. Later. Stay
Thank you.
cozy.
This was fun.